How has lockdown been for you?
At first, I was just like, lockdown, that means like battle down, bolt down the hatches, everything needs to stop. We're going to go on pause. Like 2021 is going to be like an amazing year. We're going to do everything like double. Then I realised, oh, okay, we are in lockdown, but the world is not going to stop, and also I'm not going to really stop. And once I came to terms with that, and I'm just like, oh, this is where my background's in improv. This is where actually I've been training for this moment for so long. Was like, let's adapt. Like things have changed, and they always are going to change, and we're never ever going to truly be able to like control everything. So I've decided like, oh, nothing's on pause. I'm just going to carry on. So from that point, lockdown was so much smoother in the aspect of my creative outlets.
Were you doing improv lessons in person before lockdown?
Yes, I was. So I worked for a variety of like different places, and I was doing it all in real life, which is a concept obviously that's so new.
Yeah.
And then lockdown happened, and then companies were like, well, the world's not going to stop. People still want to do improv. And they were just like, hey, we're doing some of our courses online. People still want to play. People still want to discover improv. Do you want to do that? And I went, ah! And then I went, yes, and. I went, do you know what? It's been done. I'm in good hands. People have done it before me. And then, yeah, I've been teaching improv online. And for me, the kind of like immense thing is the fact that some people have never, ever tried improv ever before. And their first experience of it is online. So coming to an improv class anyway, I think, wow, you're like brave. I love the fact that you signed up and you turned up. But now you're doing it and it's actually online. So they're heroes pretty much.
So how does online improv lessons differ from in-person improv lessons for you and for your students?
I think for me, like maybe just the first like couple of minutes when people are just flowing in, it can have a more awkward air about it because you're all looking forward, and also I'm doing the tech admin as well because we spoke about this before. Like you're not only doing what you're doing, you're also doing everything else as well. So the first moment can be a bit like, and you've got people's like a little bit like nervous maybe. But once you go into it, my manager said, do you know what? Whatever you do in the room, you'll find a way to do it online. I was like, all right, babes, all right. And then we got there and I was just like, yes, there is. That whatever we're doing in the room, we're going to find a way to do it online. And that has happened. And people have found improv for the first time. They're doing it and they're doing it more and they're loving it and they're enjoying it. So I suppose that's a testament to online working.
Who comes to your classes? What type of person? Is it a wannabe comedian, or is it someone who wants to build their confidence, or some exec who needs to do public speaking? What is it?
I feel like you've like just listed all our participant lists, but it's a really diverse like cross section. You will have from one section of like one person's just like, I saw a TV program once and I thought that would be good, so they signed up to it. You've got someone who might be almost, for want of a better word, chronically shy, and they're like, I've got a lot to give to the world, but some things are holding me back, so they're using improv as a tool for that. You'll have a lot of professionals coming into it, especially because they're really good at doing their job, they're great at doing what they do, but the small talk in between the meetings, those kind of like those soft skills that you get of building those relationships to get in for people to go, oh wait, you're really good at what you do. They struggle with that, so they use improv as a tool for that. And then you have stand-up comedians, you have actors, you have a wide range of creatives that go, do you know what, I've seen a lot of things come from improv that I like, so I'm here. Or I've seen someone in my industry that's not doing improv, but where did they start? They started in improvisation. And I was like, oh, okay, that must be a birthplace of something great then, if they're coming from there.
If someone doesn't want to be a comedian, an improvising comedian, if they are an exec or if they are just an ordinary civilian, can you sum up what improvising and being better at improv can do for the ordinary person?
If you allow yourself to be open to improv, it allows yourself to be, in want of a better word, limitless. Because when it comes to creativity, like your imagination, there's no like holds barred in the things that you can imagine, and you can transfer, and those skills translate into your personal life, and they also translate into business as well. So if you're willing to truly listen, and let's say you're in charge of a team, if you're truly listening to your team, those are the people, like I said before, who've got those diverse experiences. You're able to take it in and then put out something that is bigger and better because you've got input from everyone else. If you're able to find a situation happens and you're like, I know what I'm doing, and all of a sudden it changes, and that's not panic inducing for you, or it might be panic inducing because panic is a healthy thing, because we need it in our lives to stay alive. But if you're able to go, okay, this has changed, but I'm able to go with it or create myself in a different way, then again, you're helping your business and you're helping yourself as well. It means that whatever situation you're put into, you're able to deal with it, and it's able to be, in some cases, enjoyable. So you're in a situation like, oh, I didn't realise this was going to happen. Then you go, thank you. That was actually a gift. I'm so glad that happened. It's all of those key skills, like it's the listening, it's being able to be open to failure and be open to things that might change. It's about listening to yourself and not judging yourself, and also it's about playing and creativity. Something that I find as an adult we kind of condition ourselves out of. Like you stop playing, stop messing about, don't make mistakes. Mistakes cost money. Well, especially from a business angle, if someone's creative and they're willing to be in a safe space where they could be like, oh, okay, this might be awesome, and it also might be the worst thing we've ever discussed. But if you've created a space where, do you know what, I'm just going to let it out, then you're gonna be doing well in your business because you're going to be ahead of the curve. People aren't afraid to do the next thing and do something that's a little bit different. So yeah, come to improv for being on stage, but also come to improv for you as well.
Talking about the more traditional improv, the comedy store players can't perform at the moment, and I wondered if improv shows can happen in any meaningful way, in your opinion, while we can't all get together in the same venue.
I would say yes, but this is not the stage, so don't try and make it the stage. I think when you try and put a square thing into a circle hole, it's not going to work. Or it might work, but it'll be very painful. So what you need to go is from whatever my creative outlet is, be it improv, how can that translate to whatever platform I want to use, or what aspects of whatever I do can work really well, be enjoyable for the audience and for myself. So I say yes, but people are getting creative, and there's some awesome things out there, and there's also other things out there.
Do you know of any improv shows that are happening online in the style that I might recognise, the comedy style players? You mentioned that there are people doing things that are interesting. Yeah,
so if you want to go for the level of comedy store players, I know that they've been through so many things together, and they've done so many shows. They literally grew up together. Showstoppers, the improvised musical. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but for people that aren't, get aware of it. It's an West End level musical with the drama, with the comedy, with the love, with the music, with the dances, but it is 100% improvised, including the score, which is just live created on the stage. They take your suggestions and they put it into a musical created for you. They've got something really exciting happening. They've obviously got people in the team that are very tech-minded, that maybe sit very well on your show. And the way it's worked out is they're all together at a remote location, and they've individually got different pods that they're working from, and then they've got perspex around them. They've got a sealed container of all the props that they use or might use or might not. It's improvised. They don't know what they're gonna use. And then they've got the music being live there, and they've got someone on the screens merging everything together. So that's one high level way of it working.
Are you involved in any kind of improv gigs like you would have done on stage at the moment? And if so, what is different? What do you miss? And maybe what's better?
I miss people. I really, really love the audience. I do a lot of hosting and emceeing, and I very much see it. A performer, a stand-up comedian called Kima Bob, once said to me as I was walking through the doors to her show, "Welcome to the party," and I was just like, yes. When you're a host or an MC, you are the host of the party, and I love it. I love welcoming people in. I love enjoying the show with them. I love the feedback. I love speaking to them as well, and you don't get the same love and warmth and energy through a chat on whatever platform than you will in real life. But then I said, get over it, Monica Gaga. It's gone. Speak to the people in your house, and you're lucky that you've got people in your house, so crack on. And then what I've done is a show that initially was hoping to be live in a theatre. For the first time, I bought a collection of London's top female queer identifying improvisers together. It was meant to be in a theatre. Life happened, you know the story. And then they said, you know what? We're probably just going to do this festival online. Do you want to bring your show online? I put a call out to the cast, and they were just like, yeah. The show's called Hell Yeah. So we have a cast of, including me, maybe up to 9 improvisers. And we put on a show where a group of people come together on an online platform. And we made that choice because we thought, okay, we don't have broadcast quality machinery in our homes. It's going to be hit and miss. What's going to be the best way that we can still play and give people what they deserve? We're just going to be we're on Zoom, so let's not lie about that. So the whole show is based on a group of characters on whatever online platform they want to do. And it's completely improvised. And we had everyone was just like, we're excited, but is it going to be okay? Is it going to be enjoyable? And it happened. We loved it. And from a festival booker watching our show, they said on the night, come and do our show. We want to make a space for you. Come and just from watching that. So that's not even seeing us all live on stage. So it is doable, but just do it in a way that works well for you and whatever platform you're using. The beautiful thing about being online, and something that I should have been aware of anyway, is that there are so many people that I'm not connecting with. There are so many people out there that want to play, that want to do improv, that want to view the creativity that you're putting out into the world, but they physically, one, can't get there, and I'm not even talking about different countries. They might be in different parts of London, and it's not possible. It might also be the time that you're doing something, and everyone's just right, let's do everything in the evening, and people are just I have kids and it's illegal to leave them in the house alone. So you have those struggles there, but we're online, and our community has just grown. It's absolutely ballooned, and I'm able to play with somebody in Mumbai. If they want to stay up at the same time I'm up, I'm able to play with someone in the USA. I'm able to play with someone in Poland. You're able to connect with so many different people, and that is another key of making, I feel in general, good performance, but especially in improv. If you've got those diverse inputs, your improv is going to be diverse. Because we're improvising, and it's really, we're putting out things that we know that we've had in our subconscious, or we've really been aware that's come into us. But if you're seeing the same thing, the same type of comedy, the same type of drama, the same type of anything, you're just going to regurgitate that, and it'll be beautiful, be a beautiful echo chamber, but you're not going to push yourself. So if you're getting diverse input, you're going to then have diverse output, and that's what's so beautiful that's happening. So I can teach, and I also can attend classes with people that I could never have done before or wouldn't have been able to. You get to play with so many other people around the world, and also it just allows you to just exercise another creative avenue of yourself, because improv is very much okay, how can I move this forward? And we're doing that online. We're going, these are the limitations of what's going on. It's if you're doing an improv scene and someone goes no just means, okay, I'm just going to have another opportunity to create something here. So the world went, no, you're not leaving the house, and if you do, bad things may happen. So we as improvising, the creators, have gone, okay, you're saying no to that, and when you say no, as I said before, a void happens. How am I gonna fill that void? And that's, do you know what? We're gonna do Zoom calls. Do you know what? We're gonna be in the same place but remote, and it'll be socially distanced, and it's gonna be protected in a different way. I know what, I'm going to take all the things that I'm doing and I'm going to do it online. So in that way, there's a blessing. And when we go back to a different way of living, I don't want to go the new normal, it's just going to be a different way of living. People are still going to continue having online shows. They're still going to continue having online classes because they go, oh, wait a minute, this can work. And this can work for a certain person as well. So thank you in a way of opening up possibilities to us. But obviously, no thank you to the horrors that have happened in the world.
What are the important skills to master to be a good improviser?
To be a good improviser is one, I always say, one, be kind to yourself. You are usually your biggest critic, and it starts with you anyway. So I say, in all of my classes, this is not an audition, this is not a test, it's not an exam. You most likely have paid to be here, and I am giving you a service, so it's supposed to be enjoyable. Let's just start off here. I'm not looking for anyone to be like a comedian. Having fun is funny. So if you push it, it might not come out as well as if you just let it flow. So to have that basis and then listen and like truly listen, because we all know like listen's great for communication, but like actually listen, be present, be in the moment. So that even like lends better for you to communicate and to truly listen. Also, the first thing you say doesn't need to be the best thing, but your role as an improviser is to make your partner, whoever else on stage, look good. So we're not there to trip each other up. So don't worry, you're not in this alone, unless you're doing solo prov. And if you're doing solo prov, you've been doing it for a long time, so all's fine. So I would say that, so I definitely listen, be in the moment. And there's a concept that we have in improv called yes and. Yes and means you're going to give me something, I'm going to accept it and build on it. So if you say, oh, we're just having a baby, I'll say, yes, we are having a baby. Well, we're having twins. So we're accepting what the person says and building on it. But, and I always caveat with this, yes and is not is a tool, not a weapon. It's not there because like you might fancy someone in the class and you're like, right, let me, in every single scene, we're a couple and we've got to be touching, or in every single scene, you're in a compromising position. No, that is a very dangerous thing, and consent is a real thing. So yes and is accepting and building, and you're in control. So you can, if someone gives you something, you feel uncomfortable, you can also go, oh, no, that's not for me, but then a void begins to fill, and you put something else in there. So if you go, oh, we're having a baby, and I don't want to say that, I'd be like, well, we are having a baby, but like puppies aren't babies, and you do realise, darling, I'm not going to give birth to it. And I think that's a great skill in life as well. So it means that actually we can move things forward, but actually we're in charge of what's going on. It doesn't mean that like to say yes is the best, which I think in improv you need to be aware of.
Can we try some improv exercises?
Yeah.
It's just me and my ironing board. So,
Let's do
you know.
Let's start off with a let's get words out of the way. So we don't even need to do words at the moment. We're going to do sound ball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a sound at you. For example, and this is an example, so hold on. I might throw a sound of you like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to hear that sound because you're in the moment. You're only focusing on me and what's going on. You're going to repeat that sound to catch it. And then you're going to throw back another sound to me. That sound is associated with the sound that you just heard. But before you go thinking like, oh gosh, what's the right thing? Whatever you say, whatever sound you make is the right thing because you've lived your life and experiences, and I do not know what's going up there. So whatever you say is right. So I'm going to throw a sound at you. You're going to repeat it. Then you're going to throw another sound at me, and so on. Should we ever go?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Ooh.
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 Ah.
Beautiful, great. So, but that means we're in the moment. Everyone's doing this. We'll do it on the group. If we're online, we do that in the room. If we're online, the only difference is I just say the name of the person I'm throwing it to, because obviously you don't know who you're throwing things to because everyone's looking at you. Let's do another game, but let's bring some words in it because we know now that we're not judging ourselves. So that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a line of text to you in a certain way. Again, just like that game, you're going to mimic it. So mimic the words I say. If you remember them, if you don't, it's fine, it's not a test. And the way that I say it. And then you're going to say the same line to me, but just in a completely different way. For example,
I'm not quite sure where the gadget is.
I'm not quite sure where the gadget is. I'm not quite sure where the gadget is.
I'm not quite sure where the gadget is. I am not quite sure where the gadget is.
I'm not quite sure where the gadget is. I'm not quite sure where the gadget is.
Ooh, I'm not quite sure where the gadget is. I'm not quite sure where the gadget is.
I'm not quite sure where the gadget is.
So again, what we're doing is we're not judging ourselves. We're trying to really tap into that intuitive play of just like, I'm giving myself time to think by repeating what the other person's saying. Also, because I'm listening and I have to repeat what the other person's saying, I can't plan ahead thinking like, how can I get this right? There's no way to get it right. But we still want to get it right though, don't we?
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah. Is the point of those two exercises to kind of almost, and I think you probably said so already, disengage the part of your brain, the planning part, so you're just giving yourself to the moment? Is that basically what you're saying? As a kind of warm-up for then, okay, now we're going to do something more complicated, and again, you're not going to think about it, you're just going to do it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a warm-up. It's introducing you to the fact that, one, we're going to play, one, you don't know what's going to be coming out of your mouth, and it's going to be okay, because other people are going to be doing that as well. Because so often, we get to an age when we're an adult, and it's not everyone, but we're fairly good at what we're doing. And if we're not good at it, we just stop. So to go into a space where you're like, I don't know what's going to happen next, can actually be like very anxiety inducing, and it puts you in a different way. You're like, oh, I'm a CEO usually, and now I don't know what's going on. But like, if we can get comfortable with like not knowing, that's great just in general. Like if you can able to go, just like, I don't know, and I'm a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm going to say present. This is great for everything in our lives.
Are there people that make good improvisers and people that don't make good improvisers?
I think yes, but even as I feel like I'm an experienced improviser. From doing it a really long time doesn't make you a good improviser. Like usually, like if you was like a carpenter or something like that, the more that you do it, usually you're honing your skills. But really, we all have good days and bad days. But mainly, if you're not present in the moment, if you're not listening, it's not going to be a good show. Because what the audience really love, and like whatever form of improvisation you're doing, they love the fact that like you noticed that little thing. Because one, they noticed it too. Or two, they're like, what? It seems like as if it was planned because they said that thing and that was connected to that thing and it all circles back together. So I think, yes, there are some times that we can be bad improvisers, but if you're staying in the moment, if you're listening, if you're being true to it, it's going to be at least entertaining. Obviously, some people are just funnier than others, and we have different types of comedy, but really, like, yeah, if you're listening in the moment, then we're going to have some really good improv.
Listen, thanks so much for your time. This has been brilliant. Great way to spend the afternoon.